My daughter have started to chat with me over Facebook. She have not done that before, but when I told her that I should travel to Jerusalem, she started to chat with me more frequently, uh, more often, and than before. And she is born in 1985, so she is adult. And it's not me to take care of her because she's adult and not a child. When a person reach adult age, here in Sweden, is it 18 years old, and when they have coming to that limit, and then they go adult and should fly away on their own and take responsible for their life, then we should not do so much. If it's something that have just started, then we can tell them something like that. But my daughter have going on now in her, if it's anorexia or is it bulimia or what she doing. She is vegan, and she is so, she's not slim, she's starving, her body's starving, and I have told her that she have no underlying fat that you need if you be going sick. The body need to have something something to take from, and my daughter, she don't have anything to take for the body if she be sick, very sick, and she is sick very often. But it can be that she is working with lots of people. She is in the kitchen, inside the kitchen, and working in the church area, and she don't get so much paid, but she is okay with that, and she have been to this church. After that, I left Sweden, and she was going to her father to stay with him instead of me. And I have to do it because God come down to me and told me what should be in the future, and the future was not to stay in Sweden. It was time for me to go, and my daughter was 15 years old, so she was not a child. She was on her way to be an adult person. So it was a perfect time for God to make me leave my daughter when she was 15. He could have talked to me earlier in my daughter's life, but what God saw as going to be an adult, that my daughter didn't need to hold in her mother's hand anymore. And I it, a spirit is here very much. It was immediately when I started this recording. So we'll see what happened. I was thinking I should only do 10 minutes like that and tell you about what's going on with my daughter now, because I have talked about my daughter before, and she was in my home, and I secretly recording what she was saying, but we speak Swedish, so I have to translate it. I recording and then I play it, and then I translate it for you that listen at that episode. And she denied everything. She denied everything what happened when this higher priest stood in our home, and later on come God and talked to me about the future. And I didn't get any answer how much my daughter heard in this spirit way they did, because they didn't use their mouth to talk. They have telepathy. So I don't know how much my daughter heard, as it was in telepathy, and that's a way to. You have to go into these vibes, these waves that travel this telepathy way to talk. You need to be on the same level in the, like I say, waves, vibes. And there is some music that can bring you into that level, and that is Bach music, the classic music. And there is special that is created in that way, that is going down to a lower level for to could hear from heaven. And so I don't know really how much, but in the way, the action that happened in the evenings when she was with me, when the higher priest come and God come, she at least could tell that what she saw and heard, but she go very angry at me. She say that I was young, I don't remember what it was, but she was not so young. She was 15 years old. Then you should know if special things happen. And the daily life, that I can understand, that when you are 15 years old that you don't remember. But when it happens, special things, you should know it. Bring it with you, that's what happened. Because I remember some a fragment of when my adopted sister pulled me out in the street and I was killed by a truck. And I remember not the accident, but I remember when that I wake up on inside a cold place, a cold room, and it was dark. It was no light there, and I was laying. I knew that I was dead, so I started to freezing. And when I started freezing, I saw a light up in the ceiling, and the light come over my body, and someone hold my shoulder, like a metallic thing that hold my shoulder. And I was only between 2 and 3 years old, and I remember those things. And she, as 50 years old, she didn't remember anything of a special moment. And so she blocked herself in that way. And it is my daughter's grandmother on her father's side. She was into mental hospital sometimes, and this kind of I don't know what it is in English, but it's like staring, like she go blind sometimes. But it was hysteric. She was hysteric, so much so she go blind, but she was not blind, but she was hysteric. So those things in the brain couldn't move around and put together pictures for her. So my daughter's father, he grew up as a child. He grew up in the boys' home, like it's like a school, but they have everything in the daily routine to do things. They live there 24 hours, 7 days a week. If they didn't be accepted to go home and visit their family, they were. He was growing up in that way. He was not with his parents, and my daughter's father, his father died when he was 14 years old. So my daughter's father, he's very scared of hospital. So when I was laying in the hospital, I have C-section when I got my daughter. So I was laying some days at the hospital, and he was never there. He come once with my son. They were going with a motorbike, and my son was sitting behind there on the motorbike, and he was only 10 years old, but he fixed it to do that, and they come and visit me. That was the only time he was there. I was laying in a hospital about 1 week because I had problems in my pregnancy, so they need to see that everything was okay, so I could come home. And so I don't have any help for my daughter when it's come to her father, and I know about this, that the devil have planned all these things to get me. But he don't understand that when my daughter is adult and the decisions she make is not on me, because she is adult and she have responsible for her life. But there is parents that can't let their children go, and they must be there and hold an eye on them the whole time, and tell them what to do and what to think. This with not only with religion, but everything, what they should do and not do. And they grow up to be a copy of their parents, or else they go very angry and do total opposite of the parents. If we hold our children too tight, they must learn from mistake also. They need to learn from good things and bad things. What's going on in the world, they need to learn. And no one else should go and tell them what to do if they not are like in returning point where they can't go forward. Then they can ask for help. But we should not move with them in their progress for to be adult. So a spirit is here, and he is saying that there is someone or some of your listener that get this answer, what to do when your child turn out to not be like you are. Most parents, I think, they have a dream about the child they are carrying, and the picture not going that way. They be a criminal, druggist, alcoholic, stealing, or crazy in the brain, and we have to let it go, because we have our own life to think about. And this disturbing is only the devil that do that on us, for us to not focus on the most important. And that is not our crazy children, druggy children. We should be there for them, but we can't live their life. They must come to a conclusion to understand what they want in life. And I have seen those on Facebook, those videos, short videos about those walking dead, real walking dead people, how they laying in the street and total crazy of drugs, and that is not. I understand that the devil wants us to see these things, because we have not had reels for a long time on Facebook. I come to Facebook in 2007, so I have been there for a long time, and it's just now I start to watch those reels, but I can't watch so much of them, because it's very evil things going on there, and you should not sit there. I maybe sit 10 minutes and look around a little, and I jump off. I take another reel when I see these monkey things, and then is it dogs that do sexual things like that. That I can jump over it, but it's going in to the brain, so it's not good to sit and watch it for a long time. And so I have seen these reels where they're full of drugs, and it's different of drugs, how it works in the body. So yes, now these drugs that is most popular, those is like be like Walking Dead, because they don't know anything what they are doing, and many, I think it's a way for them to kill themselves for a moment when doing these drugs. They don't know anything. They can walk around in one spot, and like hanging over with their body, so the hands is almost to the ground, and this kind. That's once or two or three special drugs that do that. So it's different, but this, I have been homeless. I have been with people that do drugs, and they were not like that. So it's a new drugs that do that. They were crazy in the brain. In my time when I was homeless, they were crazy in their minds, but they were walking straight up like other people. There was, but only in the brain it was craziness. But today is it drugs that harm the whole body. That was only drugs in my time. I have not done drugs, but I was with people that do drugs when I was homeless in the United States. And in that time, they could be bad in the body, but it took a little time. It took some years to do it, to go on drugs daily to get that kind of a body that the body doesn't work anymore. It have no connection between the brain and the hands and legs, and it's not how it looked like on me when I was in Jerusalem, and when I was on my way back to Sweden. I got this from the brain, that my hands didn't work as it was normal, and my legs make it very hard for me to sit down in the wheelchair that it had not been before. But it doesn't, that kind of a brain to do that. It look not the same as they that do the drugs. I had no drugs in me. I was only so extremely tired in my brain to travel on my own a whole day. So my daughter, she is so extremely thin. And I should not say slim, because she is not slim. She is thin. She has nothing under the skin, and she look more and more like a skeleton. And I can't do anything because she hold her ears if I say something, and she like a teenager do. She's her eyes is going around and don't look at the on the camera and talk to me, and she go away with her brain. So there is nothing I can do for her. But I'm talking about myself, that should not let me be depressed or be apart from God. My daughter, she believes Jesus as God, so she is far from what I'm talking about. But I can talk to her about God, but I, like so many other, don't understand the difference between Jesus and God. And many believe in these three, that there is three sitting. It's God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. That's a lie that Catholic Church and Lutheran Church have make, and we had it. I think it was 87 when it stopped in Sweden to only have one church, and that was Lutheran Church. Today we don't have that. But my daughter and I, we were born into Lutheran Church. We had no choice. It was written into the church book in Lutheran Church. But that disappeared 87, and they lost very much people in Lutheran Church. So that's a lie that the Catholic and Lutheran Church have whisper in the ear of people that Jesus should be sit at the same table as God. And so she is, I don't know how much my daughter weighed, but when she chat with me, when she talked to me, and I know that's the devil that do these things, because she jumping and bouncing on this like a mattress that you have in the garden mostly of the time, but she have one in her room, and every time she call me and chat with me, maybe 1 hour, she is jumping on it the whole time for 1 hour, jumping, and then she is going with a bicycle. It's electric, but she use it as a normal bicycle also, and she bicycle in the darkness. And in the beginning, when she did that, I was so frightened that someone should pick her up and abuse her when she was bicycle by herself in the forest. And she go down at least once a week. She is going into the bath house, the big swimming pool they have in the city. She live out in the forest, and then she take her bicycle and going to this bathhouse and swimming and swimming and swimming, and she in the spring and summer she's running around, and I wonder how long her body could take it before she start to be too weak. But she is there. She is not healthy at all, but in her mindset is she healthy, and it's hard for her to understand it, because the pastor, the female pastor, she is extremely slim, and the pastor, he have been sick, but he have lowered his weight very, very much, so she can't see it around her, because that's where she live, and many of those people are very, very, very slim, and but many of those in my daughter's church, they have left now, because it have started to be too crazy, and I'm wondering how many will be there. But the pastor, he have his whole family there in the church, so they have hard to go away from it, because they want to be with the pastor as a family, and what to do for them, because but they have moved out from the area where the church are, so some have stopped to follow the pastor in what he is saying and doing, and start to make their own life. And I say that they are not young. There's people that is 40 years old like that, but they have started to understand that this doesn't work, and they have got. The sad thing is that those pastors that do this, that have put into people that whatever they say and do is right, and they self-critical, that doesn't exist for people that follow them. They don't teach them that. They teach them to be exactly the same, thinking the same, do the same thing. It's like a communist, and my daughter's pastor have been communist before he be pastor, and try to build up a society of communist religious people. But you know that not many communists are religious. That doesn't work together. And I think it's because the pastor start to be weak, and they see that he is not going to live forever. But he have make them think like he will be there forever for us. And I have said to my daughter, what if the pastor and his wife and family move away far from you, they love Texas. If they move to Texas, and what are you going to do then? Because your whole life, since you come to that church in 2002, your whole life have hanging up on that church, and you have not had your own will, because they have occupied your mindset in that way that they are going to be there for me forever. Their youngest son is going to take over the church, and we are going to move on in the same way. But if the son doesn't want to do it, if he go away, I say, what will you be? And that I ask you, that listen now, that everything that you think you have control over it, it's a spirit that starts to talking inside me now. So he's saying this: if you lose, if you lost everything that you have built up, that's my life, that's what I will be, and that you find out it was only illusion. Someone gave me those thoughts inside my brain set and make me think in that way. And now I see that that was only illusion. It was a lie from the devil. But where am I in this? When everything fall apart, where is my foundation in this? Because you have believed in a lie. You have believed in the illusion. And can you standing, I said to my daughter this, can you stand on your own if everything fall apart? Oh, she didn't want to answer me that. That was impossible. And maybe is this lose of weight that she have now become to be that way, that she start to see that this maybe not hold. The house was built on sand, and where should I go? She is born in 1985. She have not been with a man. She have always served the church, created money for them, for those in the top to could travel around and doing expensive thing. They are on the spa sometimes. They are out on a cruising ship like that. And she created money, my daughter, for them the whole time, and she have not started her life on her own. And I think it can be that way, that her, when she started vegan eating, that maybe was to lose weight, because she was a little fat. So that I can understand, that she started with that to lose weight, but that should not be like she always eats a very low calories food and then exercise very very much, like she was is in a Swedish sport troupe, like that, and not eating. And so that's where she is today. And the it's not the pastor's fault. It's not no one's fault. It's my daughter's fault that she never saw it coming. She never saw it, that she is on her way to starving to death. I tell you that about 1980, I was in the anorexia, so I have been there. And people start to say to me, you're too thin. You're too slim now, they say to me. And I didn't see that in the mirror. I look at I look at myself in the mirror, and I saw a normal size young woman. I couldn't see that I was too slim. But my mindset was not the way, because what I was thinking, that when I go and buy clothes, and I couldn't have clothes that was for adult women. I have to go and buy clothes that is, it was for a 12 years young girl, and I was 26, like that. And I should not have as a 12 years young girl. So that I saw that they have right, people that say I'm too slim, because I can't have normal adult women's clothes anymore. I have to go where the children's clothes are hanging. So in that way I understood, so I started to eat. And then I go into bad relationship, and that my daughter's father, he wanted me to be fat. He wanted a very big woman, and I did what he wanted me to do. So I have done bad things to my body by starving almost to death. And then I start maybe 6 months later to eat. And I have hard to lower my weight now. But I don't want to be like my daughter. So I don't want to go into anorexia. I am okay. I try to hold back to eat. I eat breakfast, and then I eat at about 1 o'clock. I eat the most food in that time, and then I eat about 6 o'clock. Then I eat less than what I did in lunchtime. So at least I don't go bigger. And I know that when you have seen those programs to lower your weight, that the mental issues is a big thing. If you don't feel good mentally, that you, most of those women, I see this 600 lbs, those Doctor Who, this program, and most of those people, men and women, have been abused as children, so they have not felt okay mentally their whole life. And it's a way for the brain to make a protection from to be abused, to say that they brain doesn't say that, but it's craving much food to be thick and not unwanted. But many of them have been big girls and still be raped. So that the rape have nothing with sexual to do. It's domination over another person. It's not sexual. So that's I start to my throat started tickling, so I want to cough very much. So that's how long I can talk just now, with almost done with the cold, with the flu. So thank you for listening. Take care of you. I have many episodes about this with the mental issues. That mental issues is not only these crazy people. Mental issues can be calm and hide behind things. You don't. That's why the devil have make people be scared to say they have mental problems, because before, in the past, then you have to be locked into the hospital, and you were not could talk to a normal talking to this person that was mental sick. But today it's it's very good that it have changed what the devil have say about it, that mental issues can be that you don't even see it on your own. You don't know that you have mental issues, but you have. It's not only that people from the outside should see, because you can have it inside you. And that's what I'm talking about in some episodes, to make you understand, to open your eyes, that is not something people need to tell you from the outside, that you can see that inside yourself, that you need to find peace in your mindset for to not go into this either starving to death or eating you to death, that you have no balance. And that's what I have been talking about many times. So most of people here, they only listen to one episode and then they don't listen to more. And then you don't know when I'm talking about this, because I maybe have not written that in my titles. It's inside the episodes that I come to talk, and it's when these spirits that is here come forward and want to talk about it. It can happen in the beginning of the episode, or it can be in the end of the episode. I have no control over it. The spirit is allowed to talk whenever they want to talk. I'm not here to stop them. I welcome them. They are my family. So I thank you from heaven and you that is in my home, that I thank you for coming forward and tell us the truth. The Spirit is truth, because you see everything from the beginning till the end. So thank you, and thank you for listening, and God bless you.